viewers, welcome to a video on English learning journey from struggle to success. Many of you might be struggling to learn English. I get hundreds of messages from people who want to learn but do not really know how to go about it. It is for this reason that I started this channel, Sumita Roy's English Classroom, just a few months back. I have tried to give you one video every day for different levels of learners. All of you can keep learning by practicing whatever I have suggested in these videos. Today is a similar video. It's a story about a young boy who starts with no English at all, a very poor boy. And then he becomes very good, he becomes excellent in English. How does he do it? He tells you his own story, which you can hear. While hearing the story, please remember to see the vocabulary, please remember to see the structures of sentences, the grammar, the way in which grammatical items are used, punctuation, spelling, pronunciation. All these are important learning points. The story is motivating. All of you might just listen to the story and nothing else. But remember, the story is only the base. On the base, you have to keep building your English. And that building comes only when you learn the 5 skills of language, that is grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, spelling, and punctuation. All these you will see when you look at the story on your screen and you hear the audio of the story being read out and told. Please practice retelling the story also. Practice by looking at all the possible things which you can do by a single story like this. There are many stories on the channel which you can listen to and practice your English. Let us now start listening to this story, From Struggle to Success. That is the name of our story. Here is the story of English learning journey from struggle to success. It was Lily, the daughter of one of the officers in our department, who introduced me to good English. That was many years ago. Today, I have become confident in using English. I also rose higher and higher in my career because of my excellent English. Now, I want to share with all of you my struggle and success in this journey of learning English. I was in the 9th class when my father suddenly died. It was the most shocking incident of my young life. My whole family was grief-stricken. As the eldest, I had to be strong and take up the responsibility of looking after my mother and 3 younger siblings. My father had been working as a peon in a government office. They have a rule of giving a job to one member of the family if any employee passes away. My mother was illiterate, so I was offered the job on compassionate grounds. At the age of 15, I had to stop my studies and start working in the office. I had been studying in a small school where the local language was the medium of instruction. English was taught only during the last 4 years of schooling, from 7th to 10th grade. I was not a bright student in any subject, especially English. I had not learnt any English by the time I discontinued school. When I started going to work, I heard most people there speaking in English. I couldn't understand anything. It was like a lot of noise which did not make any sense. But slowly I became used to the sounds of English. Since I was only an office boy, everyone gave me instructions in my mother tongue. I saw that some peons, sweepers, and other support staff could speak a little English and understand much of it. Another office boy, who served all the officers tea in the morning and afternoon, could say quite a few sentences in English. He had not even studied till 5th class. It was sad for me that I couldn't do even that much after having almost completed 9th class. I began to feel that I had to learn English. With each passing day, I felt an intense desire to learn English. But who would help me? I felt shy to ask anyone. I had no money to pay and learn. But I had many hours of free time in office, just sitting outside in the corridor and waiting to be sent on some errand. I thought if I read something in English, maybe I would be able to learn good English. While tidying up the office every morning, I would find a few pages of the previous day's newspaper lying around. The sweeper would collect them and dump them in the garbage. This is where I began to get some reading material. Just a few lines were enough for me. It took me a week or two to read all the columns in that single page. Reading was not so difficult as I knew the English alphabet, but most of the words were impossible for me to understand. Some news items I listened to in my own language, as news channels were always playing in the recreation room of the office. If the same item was covered in the column I read, I tried to guess the meaning of words and sentences. Here is an example. 5 missing as avalanche hits Uttarakhand summit. A search and rescue effort has been launched for 5 persons who went missing when an expedition team was hit by an avalanche while attempting to reach the summit of Mount Trishula in Uttarakhand. I couldn't understand many words, but knew the gist of the news item. Each line I would read many times. I read the same piece 20 times and almost learnt it by heart. One day, I was so engrossed in trying to understand a few lines that I failed to hear the officer calling me. The other office boy nudged me and said, "Can't you hear? Go quickly before they dismiss you for being lazy." I wanted to protest. I was not lazy. I was struggling to improve myself, to learn English. Of course, I didn't say anything. I rushed in to find out what the officer wanted me to do. "What took you so long to come?" he asked. "I'm sorry, sir. I'll not make such a mistake again. Please forgive me." He asked me again to tell him why I had not come at once. Finally, I told him I was trying to learn English. He did not get angry or scold me. Instead, he encouraged me. "That's good. I have an old mobile which I will give you. You can learn English from YouTube." I didn't know about YouTube and never had a mobile, so I was excited. Unfortunately, before he could give me his old phone, he was transferred to another city. I missed him because he was the first person who had encouraged me. Now it seemed as if my dream of learning English would never be fulfilled. The lady officer who was posted in his place had a 6-year-old daughter. Since it was vacation time, the little girl came to office with her mother. I was given the duty of taking care of her the whole day. As soon as I met her, little Lily smiled at me and gave me a book. "Please read this story for me," she said. "Do you know the story of Cinderella and her cruel stepmother?" I got worried. The book was in English and my reading was slow and full of mistakes. I had to tell her that I did not know English. She looked surprised. How can anyone not know English? She must have thought. Anyway, she began to turn the pages and read as if from memory. Then she told me the story in English and asked me to repeat each sentence after her. That is the day little Lily became my English teacher. She enjoyed the vacation because she was the teacher now instead of a student. I slowly got over my shyness and began to speak a few sentences at a time. I had no time to read tough newspaper articles now. I enjoyed learning from the children's books Lily brought with her every day. By the time her 2-month vacation ended, I had gained much confidence. I would go home every evening and repeat all the sentences for my brother and sisters.
In this way, we were also practicing English at home. I didn't want them to face the same difficulties with English as I had done when I first joined office. Learning English became a good game and we were all improving together. She went back to school, but she must have spoken about me to her mother. One day, Madam called me and asked me about myself. When she heard about my father and how I couldn't complete school, she told me, "You are very young, so don't give up studies. There are many open universities where you can study for a degree even without completing 10th class. Start preparing for that." From that day onwards, she got me books and all the information I needed to prepare for Open University degree. It took me 5 years of intense struggle to finally appear for the entrance examination of Open University. I wanted to study in English medium. Therefore, I had to teach myself enough English first. It was a great joy that I got through the entrance and enrolled for the Open University degree. It was a new world of more books, higher English, and constant challenges to improve myself. I worked day and night, even though I had much more work at office as the years went by. And the day I got my final exam result, I rushed to Madam and Lily to give them the news first. I proudly showed them my English oral and written exam marks. Immediately, the lady officer told me to write the department exams and become an office assistant instead of remaining a peon for the rest of my life. This opened up another new world to me. I was the son of a peon and never had any higher ambition. Now I started dreaming about big achievements and worked harder and harder. Seeing me, my younger brother and sisters also started doing the same and performed well in their exams. Now I have reached a very respectable position in the office. My English has improved and continues to improve all the time. I shall never give up learning better and better English till the end. English gets me a lot of respect. Many opportunities also come to me to interact with very important people because I have learnt good English. All my struggles paid off and I got huge success because I made superhuman efforts to learn good English.
I hope you enjoyed this story and you will learn some things about how your journey can start from struggle and move on to success. Apply these techniques to yourself. Also, try to understand the story completely. You start by asking yourself questions. Who was Lily? First question you can ask yourself. How old was this boy whom we can call narrator? Narrator. Narrator is the person who's telling the story. So, how old was he when he lost his father? How many siblings did he have? Where did his father work? How was he given a job? One term is used, compassionate grounds. Compassionate grounds also teaches you vocabulary. Compassionate, to feel sympathy, to be sympathetic, to help a person in need. Ground is not ground as we call it, land, but ground here implies reason. So compassionate grounds, reason for, be feeling that this person needs help. Then you find that you have many structures of sentences. Sometimes the sentences are very short. Sometimes there are long sentences. There are different types of punctuation. For instance, the girl comes and says, "Take this book and read a story." Those are in inverted commas. That is direct speech. Many of you wanted to learn direct speech. I have made an entire video on the grammatical lesson of direct and indirect speech. You can watch those videos. But you are using that punctuation here. You are using the direct speech also. Convert it by saying that the girl asked him to read the story out to her. The girl said, "Read the story out to me." Then you convert it. In this way, you are practicing your grammar. You're practicing your vocabulary. There are many tough words which I'm not going to give you the meanings of now, because in certain videos I have underlined the words and given you the meanings. In certain videos like the mango, I have told you the meanings of difficult words. But remember, if I keep telling you all the time, then you will not become independent. I would like you to become independent of my help. Help yourself. Look at your dictionary. To start with, you can use a dictionary from your mother tongue to English, but that is only for a little time. After that, use only an English to English dictionary. In this way, the more number of words that are there in your active vocabulary, which are easy to recall, your English becomes better. Your speaking becomes better. So your journey of learning English, which is lot of hard work, struggle, which is a lot of effort and lot of time and energy, not money. You don't have to invest money. You have to invest yourself. You have to invest your time and your money, your energy, not your money. If you do that, the number of hours you spend is the amount of improvement you get. The number of, days on which you concentrate fully, you put your entire heart and soul into the learning of English, then you improve. This is what this video tells us, this story tells us. It's a motivating story, inspiring story, and I'm sure you can also learn many things from it to help you in your journey of learning English. Thank you and all the best.